Dandy.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Grid Vision with the SSRL, the Spartan Sim Racing League, live from Atlanta. I am Joe LaCastro, joined by Sheldon Adkins, and down in the truck, it's Taylor Burris. Sheldon, welcome to Atlanta, my friend. Good to have you here.
Yeah, it's good to be here, man. Another great week to call a race. SSRL Truck Series going to put on one heck of a show here tonight at Atlanta. You and I got a little bit of a taste of it a couple nights ago, and we covered Cup cars here, and really excited to see what these boys put together tonight.
You know, it's been interesting to call the same track with multiple different disciplines on it, and watching SSRL go around a couple of times, it's always a good time. And so this is just going to be a different beast, I think. We're going to see different kinds of challenges, but it's still, I think you refer to it as Hot Lanta during our little warm-up chat, and I think that well, maybe the conditions, even if the conditions are mild here, we're going to see that track get a little slippery. I think that's what's going to happen. What do you think?
Well, I'm expecting, obviously we're going to see a bunch of pack racing, but the thing about Atlanta being, you know, what's so different about this place compared to the other mile and a half is they took a mile and a half, they banked it up like crazy, put down fresh asphalt, and basically took this place and turned it into a shrunk down, mile shorter version of the Daytona Super Speedway. So it drives a lot like old Daytona did before the repave back in the day. And it comes down to pack racing, but you're going to see a lot of separation because you're going to see a lot of handling issues start to factor in for these guys once they get a handful of laps on the tires. Up at the start, everybody's going to be double file, side by side, door to door, and then after a handful of laps, you're going to see them single file out. And it's going to come down to who brought the most grip to the Speedway this week.
Okay, that's going to bring us straight, I think, into our keys to the race. You started touching on some of them. Why don't we hear what you got?
Oh, number one, we'll keep a theme this week. Find yourself a dancing partner. You got to find somebody that you can work with, somebody you can lock bumpers with, somebody that you can trust to push you, and somebody that you can trust to push, somebody that can hold a push. It's going to come down to drafting. That's going to be number one and imperative. Second, you want to keep your shoes clean. Bring her down pit road, fire on 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles. Try to get that grip back into the truck. Trying to help keep you from sliding out of the corners. Make it a lot easier for you to hold the power down on the straightaways and keep the momentum up. And number 3, normally we say don't die here at the super speedways, but don't step on any toes, meaning don't die. Be careful of what's going on around you. Keep your head on a swivel. Make sure you don't cause any incidents, and try not to be caught in them yourself.
Hey, that's not bad. I like that theme. The 1, 2, 3, very good of dancing there. We'll see if these guys can step to the beat as the race goes on here. That's just wishful thinking.
I think a lot of these guys would be wanting to go back there right now.
Yeah, for a second there, we saw a little memory of last week, but we're going to take things back to a present day here, and we'll get a look at the track once again. We got the guys lining up here. So while we're here, have you ever been down to Atlanta personally? I think I've asked you this question before.
Unfortunately, I have not, but I would absolutely love to. Beautiful track, beautiful facility, historic track too. One of the longest running mile and a half tracks on the NASCAR circuit. Originally was a D-shaped oval. Then they decided, hey, you know what? I mean, it was originally just a standard oval, kind of like Homestead Miami. Then they decided, you know what? Let's put a quad oval in it, make it a little more like Charlotte, move the grandstands around a little bit, and they turned it into one heck of a facility after doing so. And you know, in the past handful of years, they decided they were going to repave it. Was originally and still kind of salty that they got rid of it because it was one heck of a driver's track. Now, a little bit of a super speedway, but the track is starting to wear in as we get through the years. They put it down in the Atlanta heat. And here pretty shortly, hopefully we'll be able to take the restrictor plates off and let these guys let it all hang out.
I think we're going to here. The drivers are just getting a little chat as they get set up. Now, as a relatively new viewer to the world of NASCAR and car racing, you know, I've only been watching it for almost about a year now, total, maybe. I got to say that it's been interesting to me to see the shape of the track, that D shape, like you just mentioned. It really, when you're watching it, you think, oh, that can't be that much of a deal. But when you're down there on the track and you're racing, even in the sim, it is a beast to try to figure out where exactly to put your car when you've got that kink in the track coming up and you're lined up with guys on your left and your right. It is really terrifying. Looks like the grid is coming together here, and we'll be able to tell you who's in tonight's race, folks. Let's get things started with the gladiators in tonight's race. First things first, in your pole position, it's going to be Joseph Tucker, followed by Gabriel Andy on the outside. Third, Chad Genningsman, followed by Gary Donnellan. Fifth, it's going to be Cody Porter. On the outside, Kyle Westwood. Next, Jake Phillips. And on the outside there, Drew Prohl. In the ninth spot, Heath Snyder and Michael Klein on his outside. Take it away.
Place you're going to have Art Nicotero, followed by Scott Schroeder in 12th. 13th is going to be James Staples, with 14th going to Evan Ethel. Starting 15th is going to be Jordan Sailors with Scott Healy, last week's winner, bringing in 16th. 17th is going to be Jason Kratke with Blair Holloman starting in 18th. Then running out your top 20 is going to be Tony Jeffries and JP Jones.
Bringing it home, it's Colton Garner and Todd Parent in the 21st and 22nd position. Rob Yost and Christopher Fuge in 23 and 24. And back in the field, last but not least, Hunter Hughes in the last slot in 25th.
Now, Hunter Hughes, that's going to be one to keep your eyes on. That guy is notorious for moving his way through the pack. A couple weeks ago, had a really good run, and I got a good feeling he's going to be pretty strong here in the draft.
I think you're onto something. Let's talk about our picks tonight. My pick is Heath Snyder. I don't know. I was just looking at the qualifying list. I always just go with what jumps out to me, and Heath Snyder jumped out.
No, for me, I'm going to have to go with last week's winner. When it comes to these big tracks, man, I don't think anybody can get it done as well as Scott Healy. Got a feeling you're going to see him moving to the front here really quick.
And down in the truck, that's Porter, the number 4 car. A good pick. That's Cody Porter. That's the name I'm thinking of. I was trying to say Cole Porter for a second. But we're getting ready to start the race here, folks. Brace yourselves, buckle those seatbelts, get your popcorn ready, get your drinks in hand. It's going to be another great night of racing here on Grid Vision, brought to you by the boys at Spartan Sim Racing. The pace car is off. We're looking for the green. And we are go, go, go on Grid Vision. There's a decent start right now. As you see, Joseph Tucker out to the front. He's got a good lead behind him. We've got 2 lines going, but just barely, as well as Chad Genningsman and Cody Porter lean out in the front as well.
Yeah, look at that bottom line, getting single file, a little bit of 3 wide action, a little bit further back in the pack. Everybody going to cycle back together here, though, try to work together, trying to get this first lap logged in the books. But leading a charge on that outside line, I think that's Phillips in the 27 machine.
Yep, I believe so. On the outside there,
Jake
Phillips.
Dicey.
Very dicey, unfortunately. Let's see if they can hold it together through the first lap here. We've got not too far to go tonight. Lap 2 out of 85. The stage is going to be broken up here at lap 35, so we've got a little bit of a break coming, but it still is a fairly long race. Let's see how they line things up here going into lap 2.
Right now, that outside line not really able to form as well, and you were talking about it a little bit ago, and you just saw it out of Donlin, talking about that quad oval, how difficult it can be. Your biggest cause of calamity here tonight is going to be coming out of the corners because the truck's just going to slide up. You see him sliding up just a little bit coming out turn 2 there. And that is a lot more difficult in that quad oval. Just there's the track flattens out. You got to make that quick left-hand corner, and it is very easy to grab a little too much wheel or not enough.
Here they come across the line. Joseph Tucker still out in front. The 27 still on the outside leading that group. Gabriel Andy behind him. Andy holding on there. A little bit of a gap forming there, but that outside line still feels competitive. They're still holding on. Haven't quite let go of that spot around the 4th position where they're competing for that 4th place line, but if they could get a little push, if they could get the 12 up there a little bit, maybe they could see Gary Donnellan up there. If he could form up and push the guys in front of him, the outside line might even be able to move forward a little bit.
Oh, you see Snyder, a little bit of a wobble there through 1 and 2. Truck sliding up a little bit. Back in, wanted to kick around on just a smidge. Did a good job keeping it under him. And there's Staples right there in the 24 machine. You can never miss that.
I think every week I see it, I never forget it. The yellow with the rust spots on it.
If you squint hard enough, you think you're looking at a SpongeBob SquarePants paint scheme there.
Right. Or a yellow Rorschach test. It is a Pizza Planet truck though, as we should remember, which is another good reference in and of itself. Oh, a little bit of squirreliness going on here, and there goes Pizza Planet up to the top row. After that squirreliness, the shiny number 1 of Jordan Sailors down on the inside line now, moving forward a position.
And Sailor said before this thing started that he's going to go out here and wax everybody. So we got to really see what that Red Bull machine is capable of. Wonder if they'll let him slip wings through the tech inspection.
That would be a bit of an oversight on the inspectors, I must say. We've got a little bit of love right now in the YouTube chat for Heath Snyder. Go Snyder. That's what I'm saying too. Where is Gabriel Andy? Maybe that was part of the dust-up that we saw earlier. But Gabriel Andy looks like he's fallen back now. He's in 25th. He's at the back of the pack, cycled all the way back there.
He's coming down pit road right now. This is on schedule. This is definitely a big problem for him.
Well, this is a replay here. A little bit in the way back machine. But, yeah, something must have happened. Maybe he's having a mechanical outside the game. Got himself off the field for safety reasons. But... Gabriel Andy previously way up in the front there with us, now in the back and going down pit road.
Oh, contact between the 27. Oh, and he's around off the nose of Staples.
Yellow flag's out.
Huge contact. Pro gets caught in it.
Yeah, Pro. It's another hit right on the front corner. Just hard enough that it could be, a linkage or something that gets messed up. Even at a speed like that, not what you want to see. Let's get a look here in the way back machine and see what happens exactly.
Slide up the track a little bit here. Nicotero gets a little bit of maybe a wrong timed shot, or maybe just slid up a little bit. We were talking about that being a calamity zone right there. Then up into the wall and nowhere really for Staples to go.
Yeah, it looked a lot like a door bang from Nicotera, like he was going to change lines, and maybe he just didn't know he wasn't clear, because he got out of that pretty scot-free. He hit him pretty solidly, sent him off balance, and got back in line.
And heartbreak for P2 in the championship standings right now. Drew Paul, huge hit to the front. That is definitely going to most likely ruin his day. I don't think there's much coming back from that. That is heavy contact.
We'll see how long people spend in the pits and who ends up coming back out. Right now going down. We're going to have pretty much everybody, I think, with this yellow flag. Everyone should be going down pit road and getting topped up for the stage. Staying out right now, though, Chad Genningsman still in one piece. He was way out in front, though, so that's not going to really mess with him much. Jordan Sailors moved up quite a few places.
You got a handful of guys, I think, came down to top off on fuel. Your race leader came in.
Yep. Yeah, he did.
Handing it over to Genningsman for now. Some more points in the 97s books.
Yeah, I don't think these guys are going to make it to 35 on one tank of gas, knowing this league. So, wonder what Genningsman's game is.
Well, as he plays Chad always seems to find himself an alternate strategy, and I worry about it every week. And then with about 10 laps to go, I look up and he's in the top 5.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let him do his thing, let him cook, and focus on everything else.
Well, that might just be the way to do it.
Also, look who's up in 5th spot already.
Oh my God. Okay, Scott Healy up 11 places from where he started.
That's
not bad, not bad.
That's another one you don't seem to want to worry about too much.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. We're getting ready here to go 1 to green, I'm pretty sure. Next time around, we're going to be getting things lined up to get a nice restart going. Lap 11 of 85, going into lap 12 now here on the SSRL Monday Night Truck Series, brought to you by Grid Vision. That's SSRL, the Spartan Sim Racing League. It's got a up there in the upper left-hand corner. Folks, be sure to check out some of our past races. They've been pretty exciting. We had Daytona last week. And then we've got even more fun stuff coming up. So smash that like and subscribe. Do all the stuff to stay in touch with us. Reach out in the YouTube chat there. Love to talk to folks and say hi. Looks like Chastity Tucker is in the YouTube chat saying, "Let's go, Tucker."
Tucker's got a pretty good looking truck tonight too. Led a bunch of laps here. You led the first, 12 laps of this thing. No, before the caution anyway, so 10, I think, is where we're at.
Yep, just about.
Right now, it's handed off to Sailors and Ginningsman here.
Got these two out in front. Tucker's a little bit back now, but he's still not in too bad of a spot for where the race could go. And I have a feeling we're going to see him be one of those guys who makes his way up through the pack, like Hunter Hughes was mentioned. Hughes now sitting at 18th, by the way, was able to avoid any business with that wreck, obviously. Oop, and there goes Sailors off into the ether. He is crossing the Rainbow Bridge right now, seeing pets, grandparents. And he's back. We are green yet again here on Grid Vision. That was a long blink.
Everything clean and tidy coming into turn number 1, though. Ginningsman getting a nice advantage over the field. Sailors not really able to find anybody that wants to work with him right there after that long blink. We're going to give him a couple laps to ride out, see if everything's good. But the opportunity is opening up here at the front. As you see, Staples now sitting in the second spot, just truck length off of your race leader, Ginningsman. And look who's worked his way to third in line on the bottom.
It's our guy, Scott Healy. The most wins in the league right now. With he is locked into the championship top 5 on wins, not on points.
Everything clean down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Sailors up on the outside line trying to contest with your race leader, Ginningsman. Not able to get the push that he's wanting, though, from the machine of Kyle Westwood behind him.
No, they're right next to each other, too. They're getting a little bit of side draft. Let's see if they can use it.
Here comes Westwood with a shot to the back bumper. They're going to push him through 1 and 2. Now is Sailors going to try to get down to the bottom and take the line. Not able to clear him, though. Here comes Ginningsman back here on the back straightaway.
Ginningsman working on things. He's got it just barely by about half a car. Not getting any help though out of Staples.
Oh, they got a little off center there. That almost turned into a mess. Tucker thankfully was smart enough to roll out of the throttle to avoid getting into the back of the 92 Westwood. And also, man, Tucker was, a little bit further back in the pack here. Look at him back up here on the outside line of the picture.
Well, we're saying he was up there earlier and he wants to get right back. He's in the top 5 again, only down 4 from where he started things. Remember, he was at the top of the list when all this started off. Ooh, potentially some contact there. It looked like almost between Sailors and Ginningsman at the front. These guys are really chomping at the bit right now against each other. It's really, really close. Sailors up at the wall, then down as close as he can get to Ginningsman. It is a battle.
Yeah, the goal right there is he wants to pull that side draft off of the 97 truck, but he doesn't want to get down there and, slow himself down in the process. If you stay on that quarter pound for too long, it's going to slow you both down. If you just go down there and pull it a little bit, it'll break him up from the truck that he's with, and hopefully you won't get side drafted in the process.
Well, it's looking pretty good right now. You're going to need help, too, and it looks like he's getting it from the 92 of Kyle Westwood.
Yeah, Westwood doing a good job pushing here.
Got to give it to these boys. This 2-wide situation has been relatively stable for a number of laps now, especially up here at the front. We've got a group of about 7, maybe 8 cars that have got a good thing going.
So he's a good push out there to the front. He's going to lead lap 18 here at the line. Stables gets a little dicey there into turn number 1 off the front bumper of the 64, Scott Healy.
Mm-hmm.
Really going to hurt the momentum as they come down the back straightaway. But the outside line not able to keep formed either.
It's exactly what I was about to say. The outside line's been doing the same thing, though. Like when you get into the corners, they just lose a little bit of cohesion. When they get back into the straight, they kind of line things up a little bit. But in the corners, they've just lost a little. They lose a little cohesion. Like right about here.
Yeah,
right
here
there.
Comes,
it's a good
here
example.
He comes. Tucker was looking to the inside, almost made it 3 wide. Thought better of it.
He wants that spot.
That's the problem too. That's one of the issues here with the new Atlanta is the corners. You know, they're banked, so you can be full throttle, but you don't have the radius of the corner to really be able to just lay in it like you could at Daytona or Talladega. You're still kind of subject to a little bit of aero push, and that's why you see these trucks really jockeying, especially through the quad oval and on corner exit here. But right now, Sailors to the point now takes the bottom line from the 97 of Gunningsman, and here comes Westwood with a huge shot from Tucker on the outside.
Now it's up to Gunningsman to give the push, and he's doing it. He's got the bumper right in there. He's pushing Sailors forward, because if Sailors is going to come down, he's not going to sacrifice any of Gunningsman's momentum. He's not going to let him do that. So he's got to keep him ahead of him.
Oh, a little bit of a apron grab there for the first 2 trucks on the bottom line. Sailors leads Gunningsman down there, blind leading the blind for a second.
Look at this push out of Tucker.
But somehow, those 2 smacked the apron like that and were able to keep the momentum up.
Yeah, it didn't bite him too hard. In this situation, we see 2 cars out ahead. Up to the top line. A little do-si-do action right now.
Yeah, Schneider decided he wanted to get to the bottom, and Scott Healy decided, man, there's too many trucks down here, and I'm tired of the checkups. Just get me to the top. Get me away from this.
Yeah, they're not having it. They're not having it at all.
Healy going to run tight on the door of the 29 machine. That outside line has lost all momentum because of the shakeup.
Yeah. It really has. That shakeup, that little do-si-do, that really kind of messed things up for them a little bit. And it feels like since then, they've lost that sort of core that they had that was keeping them there. Now, the front is staying up with the front, but it's making everything really, really hard for Scott Healy.
Yeah, and also look who's back into the picture right now. The 27 machine of Phillips. We saw him spinning and getting hit by everything but the pace car there a handful of laps ago. Back into the fray now, so a good job to the crew for getting that thing repaired and pulling the fenders out.
Oh!
Big slide from the 24 machine.
Yeah,
that's going to put Phillips up into the fence.
A little bit of a butterfly effect there after Staples moves up to the outside line against his will, most likely. Just wants to keep control of the car, stay under him. Doesn't lose control, but he does force the 27 back a little bit. Or not 27, excuse me. Yes,
yeah, the 27 machine got up the track, trying to avoid the 24 and going into the corner, having to cock the wheel a little bit to the right, missed the entry a little bit. Compound that with dirty air, and then the truck just slipped up into the gray and got away from him, but a good job getting it back down into the pack and not tearing it up too bad.
Yeah, the reaction time right now in the SSRL field is fantastic. There was one good accident earlier, but I gotta say, in the last number of laps we've had, we're at 26 now out of 35 in stage 1. We've had some very smooth green flag racing and some recoveries that have been smooth as well. Some lane changes that look like they could have been trouble but weren't. A dooring that a door that almost became a real accident. It was it's been pretty impressive.
Tell you what, though, what's impressive right now that I'm seeing up here in the booth is the 92 machine of 97 machine of Gunningsman. I don't think anybody out here is working the center on the bottom as well as he is. Everybody else is sliding up a bit in center and really struggling to keep the thing gripped up on the inside line. That 97 machine, man, he is just planted down there. Oh, contact. Staples slides up the track into Tucker. Tucker's around, and a huge wreck at the front of the field.
Oh,
Gunningsman's around. Oh, and back up into traffic. Huge contact. Like Gardner got caught in it.
Wow. He was the blender blades that took out the rest of the field there. We got to see a replay of that. It really looked like Staples just kind of drove up through Gunningsman a little bit there.
Yeah,
He gives
Staples
him two good hits.
slides
Oh,
up the
first it
track, gets into
was
the side of Tucker, and then Staples just no idea that that's even about to unfold in front of him. Right into the back bumper of the 97 machine, right here, getting himself right, but he's dead loose, trying everything he can to keep it under him, and just
yeah.
nowhere for Staples to go.
Nothing Staples could do about that at all. Yeah, really unfortunate. And then everybody else gets caught up in it. That was a wreck at the front. That became a wreck at the back. Then he becomes a roadblock.
You see huge contact from Kratky there. Then, bam, huge shot from Gardner, and Hughes just barely. I think Hughes might have just barely missed that thing.
Oh
Maybe.
wow, the 68 with a giant hit off the nose of that. That was Christopher Fuge.
And what you're seeing here, why it's so difficult for these guys to keep it off each other, is just how much smaller the brakes are here at these super speedways. You see, everybody's locked up. But in the super speedway package, these trucks don't like to slow down.
Here's another grid vision replay. This is Genningsman's point of view.
That's one of the most hopeless feelings in the world when you get turned around in front of the pack, because you know somebody's going to hit you.
Yep, you're just waiting for the moment.
You know it's going to ruin your day. In the back of your mind, you're just devastated because you know somebody else's day is going to be ruined in the process. Right there.
So yeah, that's how it started.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. These guys are really having a hard time keeping the truck planted on the bottom in the center. And Genningsman did have the best truck. I do believe when it came to it. Him and Tucker both had really fast hot rods tonight, and unfortunately, I think both of them are going to end up having to go behind the wall here.
Yeah, that was Sailors up into Tucker to get things kicked off here.
This is Gardner's on board, and you can see the tach. He's already off the gas, on the brakes, trying to avoid getting in this. He gets a huge shot from behind, pushes him right directly into the 97.
Oh man, yeah, and then he's sideways. So anybody trying to avoid the 97 is just going to plow into him.
That's a tough break for Gardner. One of the super speedway aces here in the SSRL Truck Series. And I think that one's a motor right there.
And we are back at a 1-to-go situation with just a few laps left to go in the stage. Currently out in front, Kyle Westwood, Jordan Sailors.
Yeah, we're about to get us a shootout here.
I think so. Let's see how this shootout goes. Now it feels like we just saw the end of a shootout just a couple laps ago. So let's hope that this doesn't get too violent here as things start to kick off once more here on Grid Vision. Once we get to the end of the stage, we'll take a little break, but we've got a few laps to go till then. So stay tuned right now, folks, with us as we bring you the end of stage 1 of tonight's race here at Atlanta. 85 laps coming up. It's going to be fantastic. Let's see who can get to the end of stage 1 with this shootout that we just said. We've got some real heavy hitters up at the front. Westwood, Sailor, Snyder, Scott Healy, our current race wins champion.
It's the first time we've seen Westwood fired off from the front row.
Yeah, you're right. There goes the pace car. We're looking for the zone. Here it comes. And we are green yet again here on Grid Vision. Stack up on the inside line. Not a good launch for Jordan Sailors, unfortunately.
And I think maybe too good of a launch for Westwood.
Oh, a very bad launch because the yellow is out immediately. Looks like that stack up must have reverberated into a real situation further back in the line. It must have spun some folks. Let's see if we can get a little replay into what went down back in the field here a little bit. Eyes on Blair Holloman.
Oh, wheel spin, I think. Oh, huge contact for the 32 truck.
Unfortunate for Holloman. Let's see it one more time.
Looking at Holloman's view here.
Ooh, the 14 maybe spinning around there. JP Jones.
Let's see what happened with JP here. Get him zoomed in a little more. Yeah. Looked like a little bit of wheel spin.
Yeah, pushed him up.
Yeah, a little bit of wheel spin. The 27 just wasn't able to get to the brakes in time.
Yeah. It's interesting. He had some wheel spin, but he had some forward movement. I think maybe the 27 had a hard time reading that, but I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Man, we jinxed it. We talked about them having the shootout, and the shootout occurred immediately. But the iron didn't clear the leather on this shootout, and we're going to have another one. Let's see if we can get to that before the end of the stage here at 35.
Yeah, the shootout started, and everybody was firing blanks, it looks like. rough break.
Nobody knows I reloaded all the bullets with blanks. Well, it looks like the King of Mischief has spoken, and we're going to probably be ending this stage under yellow. Because I think we're going to be, even if we're 1 to green in the next lap, it's going to be a 35. So this could be a stage win for Jake Phillips.
Like it's going to be.
Yeah. Let's let it go around, and let's, you know what? Maybe this is a good time for a commercial break. Since we're just about at the end of the stage, and you know what? No, I changed my mind. Let's hold on and let's see what happens. Because I think that we're going to be doing this for another lap, but we'll find out.
The indecision up here in the booth is wild tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't decide. I couldn't decide. I wanted to figure out a good point, but it felt too premature. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I'll say good break for Phillips, though. Had a really rough string of luck here to start this thing off, and before the stage is even over, he's up here in control of the race, getting those 10 extra points for the playoffs.
Right?
So,
it's not a sneeze at.
Yeah, when these super speedways turn into attrition races, man, it works out for a lot of people you wouldn't expect it to.
That's right.
That truck was destroyed earlier.
Phillips finished last week in 17th overall. And currently, he is not in the running for the playoffs, unfortunately, but he could make his way up there. He's just got to pop over Hunter Hughes with 7:04. So, yeah, 10 will go a long way at this point.
I'll tell you what, he's on a good team to be able to find his way into the playoffs. Those ESC trucks, man, they always bring something special.
Yeah, who else is on that team right now? Is that Heath Snyder on that team?
Yep, Heath Schneider's on there.
Heath Snyder, okay.
Carrying the Grid Vision colors for us this week, as he has all season.
You love to see it. Always got to love the little Grid Vision representation.
Yeah,
We got
to see up here in the booth. Let's see, what's the lights on the pace truck doing?
They're off. So this is going to be probably, if it's going to be the end of lap 35, then I think this is just going to be the end of the stage. But if they go one lap, we'll see. I don't think so, though. I think this might be the end of the stage right here at the line. The pace car is off. There goes the zone. Here comes the dash to the line. And we're going to do a lap.
I think we might do a little bit more than one.
Yeah, okay. Well, there we go.
I think maybe that caution was the stage. Right now, Phillips in the lead, in control, with Kratky all over the rear bumper. And Heath Schneider just a little bit further back. So good opportunities for Phillips here because he's got a teammate in line just a little bit behind him.
Very good. And up on the outside there, we've got Scott Schroeder and Heath Snyder. Both Snyder down on the inside, actually, excuse me. In the 29 machine.
Up there on the top. Oh, Pro sliding way up the track, a little bit further back in the pack.
things tightening up here. Once we get things a little bit smoothed out here, we'll do our first commercial break. But I guess you're right. They did do the stage a little one lap early, I think.
Side-by-side battle up here at the front, though. Scott Schroeder getting the advantage over the inside lane, led by Phillips. Schroeder getting a huge push from the 92 machine to Kyle Westwood. That's going to shotgun him up here to the front of the field, but here comes the inside line fighting back out of turn number 2, but not enough. And these two right here on the outside, they're just trying everything they can to clear that bottom line so they can move down and take control of this thing.
Yeah, Westwood couldn't quite keep it straight there a little bit. A little bit of that wiggle out of him, I think, cost him just a touch of momentum, but he's got it back now. Ooh, big push. The 27, though, is holding on the inside. Jake Phillips, not a bad spot to be in. If he can get a good push out of the 54, we'll see what happens. Kratky, can he close the gap? Ooh, he's looking for the inside.
Oh, contact on the back straightaway. A little bit of a touch between the 27 machine and the 92 of Kyle Westwood.
The 27 carefully defending that bottom rail there. You can see Kratky was kind of looking for the inside just a little bit on Phillips. Didn't give it to him. Phillips down to the line, touches the apron. Back up. Here comes the 74 now, down to the front. Scott Schroeder takes the inside line. He takes the lead on the inside line, excuse me.
Yeah, it was notable. He had to get down there to that bottom to try and take control of this thing. Scott Schroeder now going to try and walk 2 lanes here around Atlanta Speedway.
Quick do-si-do from Phillips. Phillips now says, okay, I'll take the lead on the outside, and then I'll give you the door. He gives him the door.
I said it last week. Phillips is one of the most aggressive plate racers I think I've seen in a long time, and you're seeing it here on full display at Atlanta this week. You see him running way deep into the corner, tight on the door of the 74 machine of Schroeder, doing everything he can to try and pull that lane back to him. Oh, and the wrecking.
Kyle Westwood gets pushed to the outside. He makes it 3 wide and holds onto it for just a little bit, and then he gets, unfortunately, he tries to find a spot on the top line, can't find it, gets turned around.
Another huge crash here at Atlanta.
We'll do a quick replay here, and then we'll do our commercial break. But let's just see what happened to Kyle Westwood here. Here's a 38 of Drew Prohl. Westwood, as you can see, comes down in there. The 4 of, I think that was, who's that 4? Is that Drew Prohl? Who's the 04 machine today? Let me double check that. It's Cody Porter. Cody Porter just a little bit too far up on him there. That's going to be another bad wreck. And we're going to go around with the yellow. Folks, we're going to take a little commercial break, and when we come back, more racing from the SSRL here at Atlanta. We've got another half race to go, so stay tuned.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We are back here on Grid Vision with the Spartan Sim Racing League's Monday Night Truck Series. The lights are off on the pace car. Everybody's lined up. We're ready to go. It's lap 44 out of 85. You're here. I'm here. Sheldon's here. Taylor's here. Let's get some racing done. Pace car is off. There we go. We are green yet again here on Grid Vision. Decent launch right now from Jake Phillips. He's out in front with Jordan Sailors behind him on the inside. He's really out in front. What a launch there from the 27 of Jake Phillips.
Now, I'll say one thing, Phillips, is going to be a difficult one to have out here in front because we've seen just how aggressive he's willing to be just to try and get the spot, let alone hold on to the spot. I'll be expecting a lot of blocking. Here it is. You see him dive right up there to that outside line, try and hold off that 92 machine, or sorry, the 54 machine of Cracky, and come right back down to the bottom and cover it, trying to keep the line stolen from the one machine of Sailors.
You were talking about him being an aggressive plate racer earlier, and we're seeing it. Oh, a little bit more than just a wiggle there. That was almost a checkup. That block was a strong one, very strong, and it looks like he might be throwing a second one here any moment now as the 54 of Jason Cracky creeps up on the outside line.
And you got to be careful just how many times you throw blocks. Because first one, they'll let you take. Second one, it's kind of dodgy. Third time, you're going to get moved out of the way. And a lot of these guys will run out of patience getting blocked too many times in a row. So it's going to be difficult for the 27 machine of Phillips to really be able to hold that off. But you see the one all over his back bumper, lifting the tires up coming into turn number one. But now in charge of the race is the 54 Cracky after getting a huge shot from the 64 of Scott Healy.
64 is now coming up on the outside as well, and you know that's got to be upsetting the 27, who gives a little bump to the 54 just ahead of him. Falls back now. They got things lined up. We got a quick question from our YouTube viewers. Do you know if they're using the same draft package here as Talladega? Asks Logan.
Yes, the draft package here is universal to what they have at Daytona and Talladega. It's just, it looks a little different because there's not as much corner or real estate to be able to really get these things wound up as fast as we see at the other super speedways.
Gotcha. Thank you for that information. And there you go, Logan. I hope that answered your question for you. Now out in front, leading things, it's Scott Healy on the outside. He hasn't abandoned the outside line yet. I said, spoke too soon.
Here he comes, right back up to cover it. Going to get the momentum back from the 29 machine to try and stay out here in front of these guys. And Kratky just about got turned around by the 27 of Phillips there. A misangled push was almost a huge incident coming into turn number one.
And you know, Healy does not. Yeah, Healy doesn't want to be in a same situation that Westwood was in, where he just got flushed to the back and he couldn't find a spot for himself. So he's going to try to get a spot back down on the bottom line, I think, but he's not going to risk himself to do it. He almost did it earlier.
No, I also think Healy really likes the machine he's working with right now. Heath Schneider giving good shots to the 64 machine here into turn number one.
He is pushing really, really well. Quite the team player right now, as the 27 also gets his push on into the 54.
Schneider gets up into the fence a little bit there. He had to crack the throttle coming out of turn two. Lost a lot of momentum. He's going to get it back from the 80 machine to Drew Prohl, but he's going to have everybody bunched up and tight coming out of turn number four here.
Now we can see a few of the contenders a little further back. Joseph Tucker is in 8th right now. Working his way back up is Chad Genningsman also. Genningsman sitting in 7th. Big bump from the 29 to Scott Healy. Big bump from the 27 to the 54 of Jason Kratke. A lot of pushing up here at the front.
And Genningsman with a really good recovery. Had to stay on pit road a little bit extra, get that truck patched up. Lost a lap earlier. Back on the lead lap after that last caution. And back into the fight now up here on the outside line, just 4 trucks back. Oh, a lot of wiggles coming into turn 1 there.
Yeah, he's got to work his way around that. This is a situation where these trucks, like you said, the air coming over these trucks is going to be enough to push them around, and they're going to be fighting it and jockeying through it. The 18 into the wall,
tight.
Once, twice.
3 times now.
Oh,
Rough break for Hughes. Not the night that he's been wanting.
3 times, no yellow. Yeah, really not the night he wants. That's going to be a big hamper on things. Here comes the 29 out in front. It's Heath Schneider. Schneider now by a nose. He's got the outside line. Is he going to come down now? Is he going to use the push from Drew Kroll and come down?
Oh, Phillips gets up into Tugger. Tugger just about hit the wall coming into turn number 3. And now they're 3 wide with Sailors taking the bottom.
Phillips keeps it too high. He's going to get flushed now.
Yeah, I mean, Phillips is out here throwing really aggressive moves, and these other drivers are just not having it. They're not wanting to work with him now. And you see he's going to try and shove that 39 machine of Tucker out of the picture.
Tucker doesn't want to have it either. He's really holding on the outside, just telling the 27, nope, you're going to have to stay on the inside line. 27 says, okay, I'll put it inside on the 97.
Oh, and Phillips just almost gets to the back of the 97 machine of Genningsman. Genningsman hard into the wall out of turn number 4.
I would get out of here right now if I was one of these drivers up here. Just abandon the fight up at the front for a little while. Cycle back. This is a hotbed. This is an oil spill.
And Drew Prohl gets a shot from the back of the 97 machine. Going to get right back to the rear bumper of the 29 of Heath Schneider here. Oh, and Tugger gives a little bit of contact to the 27.
These guys, they've been going at it.
3 contact. Again.
They have been going at it. They've really been fighting it out back here. Tucker and the 27 of Jake Phillips.
Yeah, no love lost between those two.
Not right now. The front, as a result, though, the top line doesn't really exist.
It may not be existent, but it is they're still generating some good runs up here at the front. As you see, Heath Schneider still fighting for the lead with the 97 machine of Genningsman.
And Tucker won that fight.
And I'm wondering how Chad got down there to the bottom line in the lead, because we were focusing on what was going on in the back, and somehow he picked up 2 spots and dove it down to the bottom.
Yeah, we saw him go straight to hell earlier too. whatever injuries the vehicle sustained, he's able to get him repaired and back out, and he's still driving like a bat out of hell. Really good run for Chad Genningsman right now, who's only up 1 position, but we've seen him go through the ringer tonight.
Yeah, you got 2 of the best right now working with each other too. Here at the front, you got Genningsman with the 64 Healy right in his pocket.
It's true. And what a man to have in the pocket, Scott Healy. You know that he's going to be one of those honorable drivers
Chad
that'll work with you.
2. Chad's getting loose out of 2, and it's going to force the 64 machine up into the middle.
He's going to take it, though. Sailors puts him up into the center.
Time? Oh, Chad is still dead sideways into turn number 3. Keep it.
Oh, no, not
Sailors
again! Not again for Chad Genningsman. It's Genningsman again with the spin, and it's definitely, once again, I don't think anything to do with his fault, but he was in a bad spot. Sailors got up under his bumper, unfortunately, once and then twice, spins him around, and it looks like it's a 1-car wreck right now, thankfully. I don't think anybody else was involved in that crash.
Tell you what, Chad's
but it looks like Sailors got into him.
Chad is going to be real happy when we get away from these super speedways and get back to the normal.
Yeah, we've been doing super speedways now for a little bit.
Real unfortunate break for him, but that truck was evil loose those last handful of laps before that incident ended up unfolding.
Truly, it was.
This is one of those things. You build that heat in that right rear, just a little bit, and it completely throws off the balance of the truck. And there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. You can come down pit road, or you can pray.
Yeah,
Those are only two things
Well.
that'll fix it.
that's true.
Sometimes I wonder about the praying.
I was going to say the gods are too busy watching the race to answer the prayers. You know, they got to get they got their priorities right. And we see an eyes on Genningsman. He's not going to go anywhere after this. I think he's going to be there for a while, if not just be out on the back on the skids, up in the truck, whatever the term is for a car that is no longer racing.
We typically go with behind the wall.
Behind the wall. I like that one. Drew Prohl now out in front with Heath Schneider right behind him. And Joseph Tucker in third. And we're going to have another 25 laps left to go, folks. You know, what do you think the over-under is on one more yellow there before we get even close to the finish line?
Huh.
Come on. You just giggling over there. Come on.
Just the one?
I'm just saying. I mean, I was trying to be generous and say, that's why I said well before the finish line. I'm not. I mean, obviously, when we're within 5 laps of the finish line, all bets are off based on what we've seen tonight.
I think it's pretty high likelihood.
All right. Okay. Well, let's see what happens, because I think the lights are off on the pace car. Yep, the official pace truck lights are off. Drew Prohl and Heath Schneider are leading things off here. Prohl on the inside line, Schneider on the outside with Scott Healy. Back on the inside, it's Joseph Tucker with Jordan Sailors right behind him in that gorgeous Red Bull machine. And pretty soon we'll be kicking things off.
Sorry, getting left speechless over here.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, my brain is processing the future. It's wondering what is going to happen. And we've seen some stints of some good green flag racing tonight, but then I think as the night has gone on, we've started to see the cars come alive a little bit underneath their owners. And I don't know. I can't predict the future. I can't see what's going to happen, and I love it. There goes the pace car. We're getting ready to go. We're looking for the zone right now. Drew Prohl, Heath Schneider, Prohl on the inside. Let's get things started again. We are green yet again here on Grid Vision.
Prohl with a really good launch. Got the 39 machine of Tucker behind him. Now, Tucker, he's had a good truck all night, been really good at pushing. Let's see what this inside line's able to do. But Heath Schneider getting a huge shot from the 64 machine if Healy through 1 and 2.
Tucker,
look at the momentum. Look at the momentum on that outside.
Wow, a solid bump from Sailors travels up through Tucker, up into Prohl. The three of them together holding on to that momentum really well as a result now. The inside line staying competitive with the outside line. Tucker on the inside with a good push to Prohl. Still on the outside, Schneider and Healy. A two-man team working well together.
Yeah, Schneider and Healy. Oh, Prohl gets turned, and there goes Tucker around off the front bumper of the 1 machine. And they're still sliding. No caution. They saved it.
What a save. What a save. Now, that's going to be a real tough situation for a few of these guys to bounce back from, but crazy save out of Joseph Tucker. Prohl is very loose, but crazy save from him, too. I'm surprised he didn't end up in the wall after that.
And this is giving Heath Schneider and Scott Healy everything they wanted. No other lane to challenge right now. Everybody single file up here at the front of the pack.
And the green flag.
Just focus on getting 20 more laps out of the way.
Exactly. The green flag staying out was a real gift to these two. They were already a little bit ahead of Art Nicotera there, now in third. Hunter Hughes in fourth. And now they've got a little bit of a gap forming. The two of them together could take this to the end. We'll see. It's Heath Schneider and Scott Healy out in front right now in Atlanta. 20 laps to go. That was very close. What a save. That's going to be a situation I'm sure the boys will talk about after the race for sure as we keep eyes on our leaders here. They've got a good gap still on Art Nicotera. It's only about a 0.2 of a second, but it's just enough that Art is was, I should say, outside the bubble as some guys decide.
Well, that right there, that's a maneuver that's not going to help these guys a whole lot. You got these two up here at the front absolutely hooked up, and they're running side by side there for third. That's really going to open up a gap. And if they lose the draft, I think it'd be really difficult for these guys to get roped back up because I just don't think these other trucks really have the momentum. But here we go. The 04 machine of Porter proving me wrong, working himself into the picture. Porter, another one of those guys that's had a bad luck Brian of an evening.
A bad luck, Brian. I like that. That's a new one to me.
Here comes Porter down to the inside looking for the lead with Hunter Hughes in tow.
Can he do it? Can he work with it? The outside line has formed up and become a thing now. And we've got an official yellow out, actually. It's not from the boys up here. I wonder what happened. Oh, Scott Shorter's on the inside.
That's the factory smoke coming out of that truck.
Oh, that's supposed to stay in the truck.
Oh, well, I mean, it's hell trying to get that back in there once it comes out.
Oh, Sailor's finally meeting the sort of Damocles that was hanging above his head. Looks like the rope got cut on that. And it picked up a few other people in the process.
See what happened. He was going to get a huge shot into turn 3, and I don't think it was square.
You don't think so? From my point of view, that was Tony Jeffries. I thought it was square, but we saw it side on and kind of sideways. Maybe I'm just getting a bad angle on it here, but whatever it was, it upset him.
That was too much momentum. It picked the back tires off the ground just a little bit. Once those come up in the air, the whole thing comes around on you.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Just sort of shovels you. Well, it's a really unfortunate situation there for Scott Schroeder. He's down at the back now. It's going to be a penalty situation, I think, also for a driver or two there. Let's go ahead and take our last commercial break of the night, folks, and when we come back, we're going to take it to the checkered flag, so don't go anywhere here on Grid Vision. We got more racing coming up next.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, folks, to Grid Vision. We are here to bring you the end of this race from Atlanta. It is the Spartan Sim Racing League's Monday Night Truck Series. Joe LaCastro in the booth with Sheldon Atkins, Taylor Burris in the truck. The lights are off on the pace car. Everybody's lined up side by side. By now, your popcorn's getting low. Your drink's got to be empty. Hopefully, you refilled it during the break because we got just a little bit more racing to come. There goes the pace car. He's off. We're looking for the zone. And we are green yet again here on Grid Vision.
Flag is in the air and 2-car breakaway down there on the bottom for a couple seconds. You see Healy getting to the back bumper of Heath Schneider. But here comes Phillips and Hunter Hughes. A little bit of 2-car tango here.
Let's see what Cody Porter does. He's getting railroaded right now pretty hard. Sent to the back. The 27 with a hard shove to the 18. Jake Phillips looking for spots from Hunter Hughes. He's not going to give up a spot to Porter on the outside, though. You better believe Porter's going to have to slide in front of Nicotera if he wants a spot anywhere. He's got to do it right now. There we go. Maybe not.
Now, Cody wants to stay up in charge of that outside line. He wants to be the first car in it.
A noble idea.
Oh, Phillips with a huge shot to the back of Hughes. Hughes gets knocked out of line a little bit. He's going to take the run from the 04 machine of Porter and leave the 27 hanging down there on the bottom.
Oh,
Hughes is really struggling. Oh, and Porter just about loses it there in front of Nicotera.
Yeah, I didn't think Porter used that push very well. Unfortunately, it looked like it gave him too much energy in the wrong direction. He wasn't quite able to capitalize. Now he is down and a little bit more stable now on the inside line. He's behind Cody Porter. Porter now behind Phillips. Phillips, he's been looking for spots. He's in third right now. He's going to get up into Scott Healy for sure. Look, just lifts off just a little bit as Healy gives the push to Schneider. Schneider and Healy out front with Jake Phillips behind for your 1, 2, 3.
Everybody's single file right now. Nobody wanting to go out there and take a chance at losing positions here, trying to make a move, getting into crunch time here. But here comes Porter back up to the outside line. Huge slingshot. Going to get him side by side with the 27 machine. Going to try and pull the side draft through turn 2. Not able to make much of a difference there, though.
I don't think that fighting directly with Jake Phillips is a smart idea right now. I think that Phillips is a very competitive driver, as we've seen during this race. And if you ever get side by side with him, I think you're just going to end up getting stuck there. But it looks like...
Oh, but here comes Heath up to the outside.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looks like the situation's different. Yeah, he likes that push, and he's got it now, but Heath Schneider just sort of sacrificing a little bit of his lead to get in with the 04.
Sacrifice it all to get with the 04 because now Scott Healy's in charge of this thing with Jake Phillips in his rear bumper.
Phillips holding on tight, not willing to get. It looks like he doesn't want to throw anything right now. He doesn't have a block to throw. He's got nowhere to go except to tighten up on the inside there with Scott Healy and hold on and hope that he can get more positions out of it as we do enter crunch time. We're in single digits now with laps remaining with Scott Healy out in front, Jake Phillips behind him, Snyder just barely on the outside by half a car. There's the push from Phillips to Healy.
Yeah, right. Now, what Schneider's really needing is a couple other trucks to make their way up to the outside line. Competitive trucks able to get there to the back bumper of the 04 machine and kind of push him and keep him locked up to the back of the 29 machine. But it just hasn't materialized yet. Somebody else has worked himself back into the picture, though. In 7th place, you got Gardner back up here after his huge impact earlier.
Oh, yeah, it's good to see him back up there. One guy that's having a little bit of trouble right now keeping up with the pack that he's in the middle of is Art Nicotera. He's had a few moments where I've seen him get just a little bit wobbly trying to hold on to the line, but, oh, wow, very close right now there between him and Hunter Hughes.
Yeah, it's so difficult to keep these things under you here in Atlanta.
Very difficult.
2 guys with no struggles at all right now, though, are Schneider and Healy. Doing a good job controlling the respective lanes. Oh, and Phillips going to look to the inside a little bit of Healy here, but Healy's going to come back down and take it.
He's not going to let him up. Phillips will take any spot that you can give him, I think. He will push you into the inside, and he's going to be looking for a moment where, you know, Healy goes up too far so he can dip down to the inside and force Healy into that center lane and get him flushed. I just don't think Healy's going to take the bait.
No, there's a reason Healy has the most wins in this series currently. Real crafty driver behind the wheel of that 64 Chevrolet.
And we're going down the back straight with 6 laps left in this race. Right now, it looks like it's going to be Healy's race if this is where the things line up. But we got 6 laps left to go, and this has been the race of yellow flags. So there can be anything can happen within the last couple of laps here, folks. Hold your breath. If you're really good at it, start now, because anything is possible still.
27 on the back straightaway. What's he going to do with it? He's going to stay in line with the 64, give him another shot. You know Phillips has got to be thinking about when he's going to make his move as we get here into the later stages of this thing. Just a handful of laps left, 5 to go as we come to the line here. Oh, and the 18 goes around. Oh, right in front of his teammate, too. Huge crash on the front straightaway. Staples is in it. I think that was Evan Ethel got caught up, too.
This will be our second shootout of the race.
We'll have ourselves a green-white checkers on our hands here.
You think, yeah, with 5 laps to go, I thought we'd be down to, we'd have like a 2-lap shootout there at the end. Oh, there's the spin up into his teammate.
Oh,
there goes,
68.
Yeah, unfortunately. There goes James Staples into it too, who kind of got bounced around, but still drove out of it.
And we see an onboard view of the truck that was under there, because that's going to be a sight right there. I think that was Evan that was underneath.
We had somebody in YouTube guessing we're going to have 2 more yellows, and this would be the second of 2, so congratulations there. Right now, eyes on Evan Ethel.
Watch this right here.
Wow.
You know you're in trouble.
Yeah, right.
When you go into the front straightaway and all you see is the rear end housing.
When you've got the butcher's point of view on the car ahead of you.
It's never opportune, that's for sure.
No, sir. Ravios says it's time for him to take a vacation. Well, don't go too far, Rob.
That's all right. It'll all go back to normal next week.
That's right. It's like nothing happened. Your car will be totally fixed for free.
There you go. Not so much.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the simulation. What do you think? What do you think, Pally? Are you more of a fan of the we talked about this earlier, the straight oval or the D oval?
Well, I wasn't really around for the straight oval. Now the reconfiguration they did in the 90s, back when they didn't run restrictor plates here, that was ideal. This track used to put on some of the best racing and some of the best finishes naturally. And personally, I think that we didn't really need to go and make it a little extra gimmicky to make the races better. But you know, it is what it is. NASCAR does what they do. Go watch if you really want to catch a glimpse of the 2005 spring race here. I think it was the Cracker Barrel 500 was the name of it.
Okay.
And the 2001 spring race here. 2 of the best finishes in NASCAR history, in my opinion.
Well, if you can call them out by name, then they must be.
One will be Kevin Harvick versus Jeff Gordon, and the other will be Carl Edwards and Jimmy Johnson going at it.
The things you know. Impressive.
As well, one of Dale Earnhardt's last career wins in 2000 was a photo finish here at Atlanta as well.
Oh, there you go.
So
everybody is chomping. I think I might actually. You know, I legitimately might. I enjoy going back to some of those races and seeing how they used to do it. So that sounds like a good way to spend a few hours.
Yeah, start to finish, great races, a lot of movers.
There goes the pace car. Speaking of movers, we're about to have some here as we get down to 3 laps to go. There's the green flag. We are green yet again. Scott Healy leads the race.
2 laps left on the board. Scott Healy in charge right now. Heath Schneider just a little bit behind him. No help right now. And here comes Phillips lining up to try and take a strike with his teammate in the 29 machine. Now, is he going to work with Heath or is he going to get selfish? Heath going to go up to the top, and here comes Phillips tucked right in tail with him. Scott Healy's getting hung out to dry here and coming into turn number 3.
Let's see if Art Nicotera can step up now and give him the push that he needs to. Nicotera has been behind a little bit on this inside line so far, but now he's got to step up and give that push. But the push is going to be from the 27 to the 29 as the two teammates go sailing forward.
Oh, and here comes the 27 of Phillips. He's going to come down and chop the nose on Healy. Just about got himself turned around. Heath Schneider leading at the white flag down the back straightaway, blocking 3 lanes of traffic coming into turn number 3.
And there's the 4 into the Scott Healy. Scott Healy's ahead of it. He's ahead of it.
Can Healy get the run coming out of 4? Doesn't look like it, though. Coming to the checkered flag, it's going to be Heath Schneider winning at Atlanta.
Heath Schneider, Scott Healy, followed by Cody Porter. Wow, Scott Healy staying ahead of the wreck by a hair. So close. Turning a 3-car, absolutely mad dash into a 2-car finish. Into a clean 2-car finish.
Here we are looking at the grid vision replays. You see him coming down the back straightaway, the 27 with a huge head of steam. Tandem drafting his teammate here to the line. This is for the white flag here. Coming into turn number 1. You see Phillips try to go down to the bottom and cover the 64 machine. About turned himself there. Now, the thing we're going to see here is just the aggression. People not really want to work with that 27 after, little scrapes they've had with him. Though 4 gets into a bad spot there, actually. And I think he just kind of lost the nose coming into turn number 3. Maybe see it from a better perspective.
Yeah, the 04 really came slamming in on
he had
Jeffrey, on Phillips.
Yeah, and that right there, he had such a good run because there was that huge checkup from where Phillips dove down a couple lanes. He gets a good run here on the front straightaway. See if we can get on board here by chance as we come through 1 and 2. And he's able to keep that momentum up. Maybe, I think he probably took 4 tires actually on that pit stop. Gonna try and thread it through here, and this is his only opportunity at possibly getting it.
He tried to thread it.
He tried to thread it, and there just wasn't any room. There was, trucks all around him, and unfortunate break for Phillips and a handful of other guys. But I tell you what, in a race full of attrition, I don't think there's going to be anybody upset with the 29 machine. Heath Schneider winning it.
I don't think so. And the 04, the 04 coming up from where he was on the end of that lap, he made up places. Like, he really made up some places, even if he had to kind of shove his way to the front. I got to say, that was a hell of a run that he held until the last possible second.
Yeah, but Heath, a very classy driver. You don't really see him into, getting into too much that he shouldn't be getting into. So I think after a race of bent fenders and attitudes, probably a feel-good win for a handful of these guys.
I think you're right. Hey, let's talk about all of these guys right now. Let's break down the results. First place, my pick. I think this is the first time that my pick has ever won. Heath Schneider. Second place, Scott Healy. Third place, Cody Porter. Fourth, Art Nicotera. Fifth, Colton Gardner. Sixth, Joseph Tucker. Seventh, Hunter Hughes. Eighth, Chad Genningsman. Ninth, Drew Prohl. And 10th, Blair Holloman.
And in 11th place, you got Kyle Westwood, followed by Christopher Fuge in 12th. 13th, it's going to be Jake Phillips, followed by Todd Perrin in 14th. 15th, Tony Jeffries with James Staples in 16th. 17th, it's going to be Evan Ethel, followed by 18th, Jordan Sailors. 19th, bringing home 19th, it's going to be Michael J. Klein, followed by Jason Kratke in 20th. And then rounding out your 25-car field, you have Scott Schroeder, followed by J.P. Jones, Rob Yost Jr., Gary Donlin after an unfortunate break early in this thing, and unfortunate finish for the 6th car of Gabriel Andre, bringing it home 25th.
Not bad, folks. Let's go ahead and see who we can get up here in the booth. The first person that we would have to talk to right now is Cody Porter about that finish here. And let's get him up in here. Where is Cody Porter? Is he down there? I don't see Cody Porter in my list right now. So we're going to move on from Cody Porter, and we are going to talk to Scott Healy. So let's grab Scott Healy, who I see right there. I'm dragging him up. Or you already got him?
Never mind. It's not dragging for me.
I'll sit with him.
It's all right. I'm trying to move him to where we are. Sorry about this, folks. Discord is misbehaving. It's making this very, very tricky.
He tends to do that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do this correctly. Hello, Scott Healy. Can you hear us?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Sorry about moving you around there a little bit, my friend. I'm going to pass you over to Sheldon Hadkins, who's going to talk to you about tonight's race.
Sounds good.
Man, Scott, first thing I want to talk to you about is how did you manage to bring this thing home without tearing all 4 of the corners off it? Because it seemed like a huge issue for some of these guys tonight.
Man, I don't know. Everyone was ping-ponging each other all night. So, I know there was a car in front of me that was wrecking. I thought my night was over a couple times, but yeah, I just managed to just keep the car clean. At the end, I thought I was gonna get wrecked. I got chopped down by the 27, hit him in his rear. Then I was 3 wide with, I think, Porter. I don't know who it was. It was just some gray car I saw. I was 3 wide, got bumped, lost it a little bit, came back, hit him, then got control of it back again. And next thing I know is I'm in second. And I thought I had to run on Snyder, but it just wasn't enough. And, Snyder deserves it. He's a good driver. So, awesome win for him tonight.
And so, how were the handling issues out there tonight? Because it looked like you guys are really, a lot of y'all are really struggling. It seemed to hold the bottom line through the corners, and honestly, it looked like at the tail end of the run, these things are getting really light. What were you working through inside of the truck tonight?
Car was steady on, clean 4 tires. But once the tires start to wear out, it got tight. Especially on entry. So you had to lift a little bit just to get that nose to turn a little bit. But other than that, I mean, if you know what you're doing on this track, because it's like a super speedway track in the beginning, but then after that, it's like an intermediate super speedway. It's just a weird track. How I could explain it, like the guy said, Sunday, whoever won, I think it was who was it? No, it wasn't Byron. No, it was I forgot who it
Bell.
was, but
It was Bell. I
yeah,
think.
Bell. I mean, it's just like a super speedway on steroids. I don't. It's hard to explain, but yeah, it's weird.
Well, man, a good finish for you tonight. Second place, moving you up further in the points. It looked like you're really going to have something to show these guys when it comes down to a championship season, especially with most wins in the field. But who all do you want to thank for this second place performance tonight?
I like to thank you guys for bringing on the broadcast. Everybody who makes these races possible, everybody who watches, friends, family, my girlfriend, Team Conti, my work in this, and that's about it, my man.
All right, Scott. Well, hey, thanks for coming up here and spending the time with us in the booth and for putting on a great show tonight.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
All right, now I'm going to hand this thing over to Big Joe up here in the booth with Heath Schneider, your race winner.
All right, one moment here. We'll get him up and we'll talk to him. Hello, Heath. Can you hear us?
Gotcha.
All right. Hey, congratulations on the victory tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
You had a very solid race. You stayed up toward the front. Now there was a lot of knocking around and pinballing during this race. Did you get tied up in any of that?
I got an 8X, but I don't have any damage. So
Probably just a couple of good bumps, maybe. Yeah, you were doing some amazing pushing there, and that turned into getting pushed there at the end. Were you sort of planning to get? Were you working with your teammate there to get the push? At the end, were you guys coordinating? Like, okay, you throw crazy blocks, I'm gonna go win this thing.
yeah, well, the plan, like we were working with Scott too, and the plan was to try to push him out and hop in front of Jake, but we kind of got too good of a restart there, and things just worked out to get that huge run coming out of 2.
That huge run really went a long way, as you've seen. And then you had Cole, at the very end, you had Cole Porter joining you guys on the podium. Cody Porter, excuse me. Anybody you'd like to shout out to or thank tonight?
Yeah, thanks to Jake and Scott. Appreciate them working with me. Shout out to you guys over at Grid Vision always going to keep you guys on my truck. Got plenty of friends over working with you guys. Hope Darby's doing okay. And then obviously shout out to all the guys back at ESE.
Roger that. Well, thank you for your awesome race tonight. Thank you for your time up here in the booth, and we'll see you next week.
Yep, have a good one, guys. Appreciate the broadcast.
Absolutely. Take care now. And there he goes, Heath Snyder, tonight's race winner. Sheldon, how you feeling after that?
I feel like there's going to be a lot of conversations that are going to need to be had between drivers coming into next week, because I feel like there's going to be some short fuses after tonight. But aside from all the chaos, man, congratulations to Heath Snyder for a well-deserved win, and one heck of a good little finish there to finish this thing out. Also, that run that Porter had, that was just absolutely amazing to watch.
That really was. That was something. That drive up the middle there at the end that got him the bronze. What a race tonight from Heath Snyder. Hotlanta earning its name from the Spartan Sim Racing League's Monday Night Truck Series. Grid Vision is our name. We brought you tonight's broadcast. And folks, thank you for joining us tonight. And from the entire broadcasting team here at Grid Vision, we'd like to thank you for your time and for joining us in the chat. For more information, or to get more information on getting your own league broadcast, or for getting your start in broadcasting, you can look us up on Facebook, X, or email us at info@gridvision.live. Special thanks once again to Heath Snyder, or special congratulations again to Heath Snyder for his win at tonight's racetrack, Atlanta. This is Joe LaCastro, Sheldon Atkins, and Taylor Burris, and we will see you next time on the grid.